Elena's hand trembled as she raised it to knock on Sophia's door. Her heart pounded, a mix of dread and determination coursing through her veins. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the confrontation ahead. The door swung open, revealing Sophia's familiar face. Her sister's warm smile faltered as she took in Elena's expression. "Sophia, Elena? What's wrong?" Sophia asked, her voice laced with concern that now felt hollow. "Elena, we need to talk," Elena said, barely steady. She pushed past Sophia into the apartment. The sisters stood facing each other in the living room, years of shared memories and hidden resentments hanging heavy in the air. The sisters settled across from each other, tension radiating between them. "Elena, I know what you've done. I know about Mark, about my job, about Grandma's will. All of it." Sophia's expression remained carefully neutral, but Elena caught a brief tightening around her eyes. "Sophia, I don't know what you're talking about," Sophia replied steadily. Elena felt a surge of anger at her sister's feigned innocence. She leaned forward, eyes blazing. "Elena, don't lie to me, Sophia. Not anymore. I have proof." She began laying out her evidence piece by piece. As Elena spoke, she watched Sophia's face intently. At first, her sister maintained her mask of confusion and concern, but as the evidence mounted, Elena saw cracks forming in Sophia's facade. Denial gave way to anger, then to a cold, calculating look that sent chills down Elena's spine. Elena's stomach churned as Sophia detailed how she had systematically dismantled Elena's life. It wasn't just about Mark or the job or the inheritance. Sophia had been working for years to undermine Elena in every aspect of her life. Sophia's voice echoed with bitterness. "Do you have any idea what it was like growing up in your shadow? Always second best, always the afterthought. I was tired of being invisible." Elena's heart ached as she responded, "Sophia, I never meant to make you feel that way. We could have talked about this." But Sophia's voice was resolute. "It's too late for that now. I've spent years planning this, Elena, and you know what? I'd do it all again." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. The sister she thought she knew was gone, replaced by this vengeful stranger. She stood up, legs shaky. Elena's voice quivered. "I can't believe you would do this to your own sister." Sophia's reply was cold. "Family means nothing when you've been invisible your whole life. I'm done living in your shadow, Elena. It's my turn to shine now." Elena's hand trembled as she reached for the doorknob. She paused, looking back one last time. The woman sitting on the couch was a stranger now, capable of unimaginable cruelty. Without another word, Elena stepped out, closing the door on the sister she thought she knew. The truth spread through the family like wildfire, leaving devastation in its wake. Elena's parents couldn't believe the revelations about their daughters. They sat at the kitchen table, hands trembling as they tried to process the unthinkable. How could their little girls have come to this? As the news trickled out to extended family members, the once tight-knit Rodriguez clan began to fracture. Aunts, uncles, and cousins all had opinions, judgments, and sides to choose. What was once a harmonious family unit now resembled a battlefield, with invisible lines drawn and allegiances declared. The next family dinner was a tense affair, filled with awkward silences and pointed glares. Uncle Miguel said, nodding towards Elena, "Aunt Rosa, how can you say that? Elena is the victim here." Aunt Rosa's eyes flashed with anger. The table erupted into chaos, voices rising as family members defended their chosen sister. Elena's mother burst into tears, unable to bear the conflict. Her father slammed his hand on the table, silencing the room. "Father, enough! This family has been through enough already." But the damage was done. As the dust settled, Elena realized nothing would ever be the same. The family's fracturing along fault lines of loyalty became more apparent with each passing day. Some defended Sophia, claiming Elena had always been the favorite child. Others stood firmly by Elena, unable to forgive Sophia's betrayal. Elena's cousin Maria, once her closest confidant, now avoided her at family functions. "Maria, I'm sorry, Elena, but I can't help but think. Maybe if you had paid more attention to Sophia's feelings over the years, things wouldn't have gotten this bad." The words stung Elena like a physical blow. She wanted to defend herself, to explain that she had no idea Sophia felt that way. But doubt crept in, gnawing at her conscience. Had she really been so blind to her sister's pain? As weeks turned into months, the family's wounds showed no signs of healing. Elena's grandmother, whose will had been at the center of the controversy, refused to speak to either sister. The matriarch's silence was perhaps the most painful consequence of all. Elena found herself increasingly isolated, caught in the crossfire of a family at war with itself. She longed for the days when family meant unconditional love and support, not suspicion and resentment. The weight of the situation bore down on her, affecting her sleep and appetite. One particularly difficult day, Elena overheard her parents arguing in hushed tones. How were we supposed to know it would lead to this? We thought we were doing our best for both of them. Elena's heart ached. The fallout from Sophia's actions had not only destroyed her own life, but had shattered the very foundation of their family. She wondered if there would ever be a way to rebuild what had been lost. As she lay in bed that night, Elena's mind wandered to happier times. She remembered family picnics in the park, laughter echoing through the house during game nights, and the warm embrace of her parents after every accomplishment. Those memories now felt tainted, overshadowed by the knowledge of Sophia's growing resentment. Elena realized that the true tragedy was the years of unaddressed issues that had led to this point. The family's inability to communicate openly and address conflicts had created an environment where such a devastating betrayal could take root and flourish. Elena's world had crumbled around her, leaving her isolated and alone. She felt cut off from everyone she once trusted, adrift in a sea of betrayal and confusion. Just when she thought she had hit rock bottom, a glimmer of hope appeared in the most unexpected place. Her phone lit up with a message from her cousin Alex. Elena's heart skipped a beat. She and Alex had never been particularly close, always existing on the periphery of family gatherings. He was the quiet one, the observer who seemed to fade into the background. But now it seemed he had something important to say. Elena's hands trembled as she opened the message. Could it be true? Had Alex known all along? Elena's mind raced with possibilities as she quickly arranged to meet him at a nearby cafe. When she arrived, Alex was already there nursing a cup of coffee. His eyes met hers, filled with concern and determination. As Elena sat down, Alex leaned forward, his voice low and urgent. Elena felt a rush of emotions, relief, gratitude, and a renewed sense of purpose. She listened intently as Alex shared his observations. Sophia volunteered to help Grandma with her medication, then asked about the will details. She manipulated conversations, planting seeds of doubt about Elena when no one was looking. Sophia always seemed to be around when important decisions were made. She subtly undermined Elena's achievements in front of family members. Elena's eyes widened as the pieces started to fall into place. She remembered the family reunion clearly. It was shortly after that Grandma had changed her will. Alex pulled out a small notebook. Alex, I've been keeping track for years. Dates, conversations, strange occurrences. This might help you build a case against Sophia. Elena couldn't believe it. All this time, she had an ally she never knew existed. She reached out and squeezed Alex's hand, tears welling up in her eyes. As they pored over Alex's notes, a clearer picture of Sophia's deception emerged. Elena felt like a sailor lost at sea, suddenly spotting a lighthouse in the distance. Alex's support was her beacon of hope, guiding her back to shore. Elena, it's like she was playing a long game. Every move calculated, every action part of a bigger plan. Elena took a deep breath, feeling a surge of determination. With Alex's support and the new information he'd provided, she finally felt equipped to take action. As they continued to talk, Elena felt hope blossoming in her chest. She wasn't alone anymore. She had an ally in her corner, someone who had suspected Sophia all along and was willing to stand by her side. Together, they began to formulate a plan. They would gather evidence, reach out to other family members who might have noticed something amiss, and build a case that would be impossible to ignore. Elena's heart raced as she stood outside the lawyer's office, clutching Alex's notebook filled with years of meticulous observations about Sophia's behavior. This was it, the moment of truth. She took a deep breath, steadying herself for what lay ahead. As she entered the office, Elena's voice trembled slightly as she began to present her case. Elena, it started small, little things that seemed insignificant at the time, but when you put it all together... She trailed off, her throat tight with emotion. The lawyer listened intently, his eyes widening as he flipped through the evidence. Elena felt a mix of relief and dread wash over her. Relief that someone was finally taking her seriously, but dread at the thought of what lay ahead. Lawyer, based on what you've shown me, we have grounds for several potential claims. Fraud, emotional distress, and possibly even defamation, depending on what Sophia may have said to others about you. Elena's mind reeled. The legal terms swirled around her, each one carrying the weight of years of pain and betrayal. Elena, I never thought it would come to this. The lawyer explained the process of filing the lawsuit, the potential outcomes, and what Elena could expect in the coming months. As he spoke, Elena felt a strange mix of emotions washing over her: fear, determination, and a glimmer of hope she hadn't felt in a long time. Lawyer, before we proceed, I want you to understand that this won't be easy. Legal battles within families can be incredibly complex and emotionally draining. Are you prepared for that? Elena thought of the family dinners filled with awkward silences, the pointed glares, and the whispered accusations. Elena, I don't have a choice. This has to end. As Elena left the office, the weight of what she'd just done hit her full force. She leaned against the wall, taking deep breaths to steady herself. The hardest part was yet to come. News of the lawsuit spread through the family like wildfire. Elena's phone buzzed constantly with messages from relatives, some offering support, others expressing disbelief and anger. She couldn't bring herself to read them all. Across town, Sophia received the official notice of the lawsuit. For a moment, her carefully constructed mask of innocence cracked. A flicker of fear crossed her face before she composed herself, already planning her next move. Elena knew the coming months would be a battle. She thought of what the lawyer had told her about the complexities of familial lawsuits, the emotional toll they could take. Legal experts emphasized the importance of gathering comprehensive evidence, such as witness statements and documentation, to support claims in familial manipulation cases. The presence of clear, corroborative evidence can significantly influence the outcome of such lawsuits, especially in emotionally charged disputes. Elena's heart clenched. This is my only way forward. I have to see this through. As she drove home, Elena's mind raced with thoughts of what lay ahead. The lawyer's words echoed in her mind. The emotional impact of legal battles within families can be profound, often leading to long-term estrangement and psychological distress for the parties involved. She knew this was true. Already she could feel the fractures in her family deepening. But she also knew that the alternative, allowing Sophia's manipulation to continue unchecked, was unthinkable.
Why do 90% of mystery fans crave suspenseful twists? Let's find out. And that's it for today's story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. If you love suspense, mystery, and intriguing stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And hey, the journey doesn't end here. Click on the next video right here to dive into another thrilling story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.